Hello everyone, GeneralApple here with the House in Fata Morgana playthrough part 15. And yeah, we reached so far into the game and I'm just dying to continue because last time we played, we got such a spectacular moment and it's so incredible because I'm honestly just so invested into this game and I'm dying to continue because finally we saw them getting closer together, and we paused at a really crucial moment, so let's just continue right where we left off last time, which is a bright future. Okay. Morning. No. Afternoon. Master. Ah. Good morning. Uh, Good morning. Oh, come on, put a little more oomph into it. Same Giselle as always. I must say, last night was something, Master. I didn't know you had that in you, just thinking about it. Ow. Hey, that hurt. What was that for? I was struck with an insatiable urge to whack you. Whatever happened to your heartfelt desire to do whatever you can for me? I don't think hitting me counts. You're tough enough to get over a little bonk. Nah, you were being so nice yesterday. Where did that go? So, would you like to explain why you're making dirty jokes first thing in the morning? Ah, yeah, just... I was trying to lighten the mood to hide my embarrassment. Fair enough. Alright, but could you not joke about that in the future? I didn't actually do anything to you. No, you didn't. Sorry. Say, could I ask you something? Yes? You hardly ever use my name. It makes us feel so distant. Could you do something about that, maybe? Babe? Oh, God, no. No, that's not you at all. Just go with my name, please. We've graduated from master-servant relationship to a romantic relationship. But that is a bit much. Romantic relationship. Exactly. So, in honor of the new us, let's make this laugh. Alright, Michael? Alright. Finally. Finally. That light that had entered our life seemed unreal and fantastical, but I prayed that it would indeed last. In hope of an equally bright future, I allowed myself to rejoice in the moment, letting the unconquered shadow that lurked in my peripheral remain unseen. I wonder, what secret is he hiding? He constantly talks about some hidden secret. Him being cursed. I guess we will know. Blackness consumes the once colorful space. Giselle still stands before me, as she did within the door, but I struggle to reconcile the two scenes. They are both real. They are both her. The lively, spunky girl of the past and the lifeless girl of the present are both Giselle. As different as they seem, they are both her. Why don't we stop there? It was a wonderful story. They overcame their troubles and lived happily ever after. Is that not good enough? It could not be worse than where we are now. All we have to do is erase the now. Throw everything away and start over from where it was better. You're able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. And that goes for more than just me. Actually, as a matter of fact, those words apply even better to her than me. The ending is already set in stone. It's already happened. What the point is there in watching it again? All that accomplishes is making me relive it all. The ending has not been written. We are both here now, which means our end still lies ahead of us. Then, can I ask you to promise not to let go of my hand no matter what? No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. Now I understand. That was a request. Even if she didn't perceive it as such. In place of verbal response, I squeeze her hand in mine. I know where this tale is heading. Towards tragedy. All the other doors we visited ended in tragedy, and ours is no exception. But perhaps what's waiting at the end of this one is even more dire than I imagine. The door to our past swings open once more, behind which lies the end of me, and the beginning of her. Oh man, why are you doing this to me, game? Please stop. I can't take it anymore. I just want a good ending. For once. I already suffered 3 times. Don't make me suffer again. A month had passed since the night with the rose. Right on schedule, the monthly delivery arrived, but in it was a letter that would dramatically change our lives. My father, Antonin, had fallen ill and died. I presumed it was the witch's doing, but she was silent, refusing to respond to my questions. If it wasn't her, then he must have died naturally. It seems more than a little tasteless to celebrate someone's death, but good taste and reality do not always agree. I was extremely relieved to hear the news. The man had raped Giselle. He had tried to have me killed. And now, he was gone from this world. I had been waiting for this moment for years. His passing had another effect as well. My death could be revoked. Many years ago, my brother had told me that when he succeeded our father, he would welcome me back into the Bollinger estate, and I could be part of the family once more, which meant this letter signaled the end of my banishment. Not sure how to feel about it. Yeah, rejoicing doesn't seem really appropriate. But this means you can return home now, right? In theory. My brother is set to take control of the estate, so he should be accommodating. I'm going to write a letter. Have them send us a carriage. It is much too long a distance to walk. Alright. I'm excited. What should we do first when we get back to the capital? Ooh, I know. How about you stop by my place? My mom and sister won't believe their eyes. My time in this mansion was almost at its end. The future I had only vaguely envisioned was now within my reach. I had always spoken of this moment, predicted with eventually, like it was some kind of unobtainable fantasy. But now that it was practically a reality, I realized I hadn't actually given it my shot. Oh god. Hey, are you still awake? I am. Not a great night for sleeping, huh? Are you thinking about your family? It all seems so surreal. Yeah, it does. This house is like a desert island cut off from the world, which makes everything feel kind of like a fairy tale sometimes. Even what we have, from time to time, I get the feeling that nothing is real. That the outside world is just a figment of my imagination. That my entire life only ever existed within these walls. Are you nervous? Maybe I am. I always thought that when this day arrived, it would be more cathartic. I'm sorry. I'm finally able to take you back to the capital, and I can't seem to get past my own negativity. It's only natural to be nervous. I am too. I haven't spent nearly as long as you living in this mansion, but I know how you feel because I feel the same way. Not knowing what the future holds is scary. You know, I was thinking I would be okay with staying. I mean, I would love to return to the capital and I miss my family dearly. But even if I never get to see them again, in no way would I consider myself unhappy. I honestly think I've got a pretty wonderful life. if you're not comfortable going back to that house, and you're just saying you'll endure it for me, Giselle, there are other paths we can take. You could live with your family, or you could remain here in the mansion. Not at all, no. I want to. No matter where I go, you'll be there with me, Michael. It's true. I am nervous not knowing what the future holds. But not in a scared sometimes something bad might happen kind of way. It's more of a jittery, excited anxiousness. I'm confident the two of us can overcome anything, no matter what obstacles may come our way. Together, we can create an even more wonderful future. Don't worry, Michael. The future is nothing to be afraid of. You make it sound like I'm paralyzed with fear. But you are, aren't you? Hey now, don't give me that look. Once again, she's the one pushing me forward. I will make sure you have a good, happy life. Thank you. What? Nothing. Nothing. I'm feeling kind of sentimental, thinking about how we only got little time left here. It wasn't perfect, but it was an important part of my life. Indeed. Say, yes? Well, I think I could handle it right now, probably. It? Oh, use your head, you little... I don't follow. How can you be so dense? I mean, you know, touching and so forth. You know, take the next step. I'm saying, I'm feeling up for that right now. It's not proper for a woman to bring up that subject, is it? But I did kind of ask you to wait, and I feel bad leading you on for so long. Yeah, I'm sorry. Nah, you're shaking. I'm just really emotional, that's all. You don't need to force yourself if you're not ready. I can wait as long as you need. Besides? Never mind. It's fine. There's no need to rush things. You don't need to worry. Yeah. I guess it relates to a secret. I wrote 2 letters. One to my brother, and one to my mother. One so Giselle could return, and one so I could be myself. To demonstrate who I was. I had to prove that I was not cursed. For failing to do that would not only bring her grief, it might become the final crack in the identity I'd built up for myself. I had to convince her that I was neither demon nor angel, but a human man who has fallen in love with a human woman. However, I was too foolish to realize that the future I envisioned was nothing but a fantasy. Had I been able to grasp that, then maybe I could have taken her somewhere far away where no one knew who we were. Where things might have turned out differently. Yeah, because his mother still hates her, right? It's been really foggy out lately. I'd rather if we left it when it was clear. It would be terrible if the coachman rolled the carriage because he couldn't see where we were going. If there wasn't so much fog, I would probably have been able to see little columns of orange evening sunlight fighting their way through the trees. But the milky white mist seemed to swallow up all the light, leaving nothing for the surrounding area. It was rather dreary weather. I wonder when they'll be here. Although, if they never do show up, that's okay too. I was finally able to return to the capital with Michael, to see my family again. And that was wonderful. It was like a dream come true. But it wouldn't disappoint me if that didn't end up happening. I didn't care where I ended up, as long as Michael was there with me. That's all that matters. I should probably close the windows. The coach isn't likely to show up at night, I don't think. I reached my hands out to shut a window, which is when I saw something wavering beyond the heavy mist. Light? And it wasn't just the one. Looking closer revealed several more flickering spots. They moved up and down, slowly but rhythmically. As more and more came into view, my mind began seeing them as people carrying torches. They're coming this way. Could they be our escorts back to the capital? Though, what? As soon as I thought, there sure are a lot popped in my head. Something whizzed past my cheek. Huh? What was that? What? It was an arrow. Giselle! What? The arrow had flown through the window and pierced the opposite wall. Had Michael not knocked me out of the way? Giselle, are you okay? I'm fine. But what's going on? Never mind that right now. We need to run. Wait, Michael. Now, there's no time to talk. Stay out of sight of the windows. Got it. He grabbed my hand and broke into a run. A relentless storm of arrows showered through the window we had worked so hard to get open a year ago. This wasn't what we had gone through. That's not what we had gone through all that effort for. Once I opened the front door, run. We have to get as far away from this house as quickly as we can. What was happening? Why did we have to run? Why were these people firing arrows at us? With a wave of question came a wave of fear. I couldn't say anything. The sheer terror had frozen my jaw in place. Get ready. I nodded, squeezing his hand tight. I knew it would just be another obstacle to his safe escape, but I didn't want to let go of his hand. I was afraid that if I did, I would never be able to hold it again. Oh God. Are you alright? I'm fine. But how? There are people out front too. Damn it, why? Several arrows were sticking out of the door before us. Beyond the door, which Michael had managed to shut almost immediately, rang a canopy of whoosh, thump, whoosh, thump. We can't escape. Why? What's going on? Damn it. With a deep scowl, Michael barred the door, and all the while the arrows kept flying. The panic in the air kept growing thicker. I don't understand. How did they... Oh, only a handful of people know about this split. It's Hamid. This is all my fault. It's all because I told the villagers about this place. They think a demon lives here, not a human. So they're here to tear down the house. They made weapons, bows, just for this. I don't... There was a deep rumble and the ground below us shook. I almost fell to the floor. They're trying to break down the door, it seems. Michael, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. Because of what I did. No. What? It's not your fault, it's mine. Michael? I challenged her, and because I did, she made my curse real. What are you talking about, Michael? This way, run. Michael dragged me to the mentioned corridor until we reached the chambers with the stained glass windows. At the far end of the room sat a small door. Where does it lead? I had been aware of the door's presence, but I had never gone inside it. Something about it seemed somewhat different than the rest of the house. I wasn't sure how to describe it exactly, but it felt like shadows had taken root here. The observation tower. A tower, but if we go up there, we're putting ourselves in a corner. It doesn't matter where we go, they've trapped us. But there's a chance that up here... He didn't finish that thought, however. He opened the door, leading me into the tower. His face deathly pale. Oh God. It's like the other story, the first one. They're stuck at the observatory. We started running again, around and around the spiral staircase, making our way towards the top. In regular intervals along the wall were rectangular windows. A layer of fog still lay thick across the land. Peering out into it made me feel like we had been thrown into a dream world. If it weren't for the orange spots of torchlight surrounding the mansion, the silhouettes holding the torches, is that armor? Appear to be knights. Michael, tell me, why do you think this is your fault? What is your curse? Your curse. It isn't just the color of your hair and eyes, is it? There's more to it, isn't there? There's something else, isn't there? Michael's gaze was firmly directed forward as he frantically led me up the stairs. We were breathing hard, and the sound of it echoed against the tower's stone walls. Our panicked hearts were beating so hard, I was afraid they might be able to hear it outside. Eventually, we made it to the top. A pile of discarded rope lay unceremoniously at the foot of the door, presumably once used to seal it shut. The door itself was deeply weathered and rotting in place. It had obviously been left sitting in disrepair even longer than Michael had lived here. What is this inside? Frigid air nipped at my skin, and it wasn't a pleasant, refreshing kind of cool, but a bitter, oppressive cold. This room felt unlike any other in the mansion. This is an observation tower. You can't even... There once would have been windows allowing you to see in all directions around the mansion, but all that remains now is a tiny opening near the ceiling. If we hide out here, there's a chance they might not find us. It sounds like they broke down the door. Don't worry, they won't find us. And when they give up their search, then we can get out of here. I'm sure it will turn out alright. Michael's voice was quivering, as was his hand in mine. Michael. We huddled together, feeling each other's warmth in our arms. My free hand clenched his shirt for dear life. I'm sorry. What? I'm to blame for this. It's my fault you're in this mess. The pain you had experienced, you're being sent to this place, and what's happening now can all be traced back to my being born. I'm so sorry. Why was he apologizing? Why did he insist that it was his fault? Why wouldn't he tell me what his curse was? Why were people trying to kill us? Right. Those people were trying to kill us. Putting it into words like that made the fear that much more real. The arrows they fired weren't threats. They meant to kill us. Michael. But with Michael trembling in my arms, I couldn't bring myself to ask those questions. What meaning would those answers even have with death lurking so close behind us? All I could do was pray. Pray that he was right, that they wouldn't find us and we would be able to escape. However, over here, there's a door and stairs leading up. My hopes were shattered by the sound of voices from below. I could hear a faint clanking of armor. Our grips on each other tightened, and our trembling intensified. Fear swelled within the tower, making us its slaves. Giselle. We were both terrified, and who wouldn't be? Fairy tale heroes could be magically courageous in the face of overwhelming danger, but they weren't real. The fear of my impending death, drawing nearer and nearer with each passing moment, almost drove me to madness. I couldn't think clearly. My heart was having trouble keeping up. My head was a big, white mess. We were supposed to return to the capital, start a new life, finally obtain our happiness. It was right there at our fingertips. Enough happiness to make up for Michael's 10 years of isolation, and enough to erase that nightmare from our memory forever. What had we done to have that taken away from us? We just loved each other and wanted a quiet life together. Nothing outrageous. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. But what scared me the most was being separated from Michael. Hey, Michael, what are those people really doing here? What if they're after money or valuables? We can offer them everything in the mansion. We don't need any of it. If they don't want us to return to the capital, we can tell we'll stay here. They might be willing to talk it over. I don't care if we lose everything else. As long as I have you, I can survive anywhere. All that mattered was that we had our lives. So as long as the two of us still breathed. But death. Death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. Death to the witch. Despair hung over us like fog outside. There were no heretics, no witches, no unholy ones here, but they would probably never listen to us. The moment we stepped outside of this room, we would be dead, no matter what we said. Michael, I'm alright. It's okay, Michael, I'm not scared. You're here with me after all. I'm fine. It's all fine. So please hold me until it's all over. Please stay with me. Finally, you speak. Michael. He wasn't looking at me though. His unfocused eyes were directed upward, not forward at any particular point, but wandering aimlessly. Yeah, he's making a deal with Morgana. His purplish lips appeared to move, as though he was speaking, but no sound came out. Hey, Michael, are you alright? Come back to me, Michael. I grabbed him by the shoulder and shook, but didn't even seem to notice. No matter how many times I called to him, he didn't look down from the emptiness above. Michael, Giselle. Finally, after far too long, his gaze slid down to meet mine. He looked defeated, exhausted, and cornered all at once. I was scared too, but his fears seemed to have consumed him entirely. Please hear me out, Giselle. I've never thought anything good would become of my life. I never thought I would find anyone who truly understood me, who would be happy to have my love. And for that, I hated the world. I was in constant torment, living in the shadows. But then, a single ray of light shone down on me. Michael, you, Giselle, you delivered me from the darkness. I'm scared, Giselle. I'm terrified. I used to think my life was meaningless, but it didn't matter if I lived or died. But now, I can't stop shaking. That's perfectly normal. I'm scared to death too, but what scares me most is losing you. Michael, I should have noticed. Noticed his arms when tensing up. Noticed and stopped him. So please allow me to repay you. I said I would do anything for you, so let me do this. I haven't given you anything. I haven't done anything for you. So give me one final chance. Michael. Oh God. He's going to bar the door. What are you doing? Get back in here, Michael. What? Why the door? I can't open it. I shoved on the door, trying to go after him, but it wouldn't budge even the slightest bit. It was as though there had never been a door there at all, merely a wall disguised as one. It wasn't someone holding it shut from the other side either. I pushed and I pulled with all my might, but I couldn't even manage to eke out the tiniest crack. Michael, what did you do to the door? Come on, get back in here. I don't want to lose you either. Say something, Michael. You're out there, aren't you? Please don't do anything rash. They're going to kill you if you're out there. Giselle, the witch told me that she would ensure your safety. Michael, she isn't real. There's no witch talking to you. It's all in your head. A figment of your imagination created to alleviate your loneliness. Rest assured, she does not lie. Michael, please listen. You're a wonderful woman, Giselle. Spirited, true to yourself, deeply sympathetic. You are not to blame for how difficult your life has been. Most of the fault lies with me, and a bit of a bad fortune. But that's all behind you now. Once this is over, you can start anew. What are you talking about? So, survive, live a good, fulfilling life. Move past this, live your life, and always love your family. I know you can do it. That is my wish for you. No, I don't want that. I want to be with you. No one else but you. I don't want to let you die. There it is. Death to the heretic. Death to the heretic. Death to the heretic. Get back in here, Michael. Open the door. If my choice is to live without you, I'd rather. Your scars will heal. You'll find a nice man and have a wonderful family. Why? Thank you, Giselle, for bringing light to my world. Don't say that. But if there is a next life, I hope you don't mind if I pray we're able to meet again. That we can find each other once more in another world. Michael. Michael. It is our holy duty as knights of the church to deliver punishment unto the heathen who made a pact with the devil. Come on, Michael, open the door. You are sentenced to death, your body to be hanged upon the cross for 3 days and 3 nights, where your unholy flesh shall be purified by the fires of heaven. Why, what are you doing here? Open the door, Michael, please. Listen to me, you can hear me out there, can't you? You shall now be executed. Do you have any final words? Who is that you're sentencing to death? Michael Boilinger or a demon child, naturally? Or a witch, perhaps? Please, open the door. Why won't you open it? He's unholy or impure. He isn't unholy or impure. He's perfectly normal human and a very sweet man. Yes, I'm the witch. The witch is in here. I'm the one you want to execute. Kill me. Execute me. Now I see, Giselle. This world. Kill him. So many blades pierce my flesh. A sword in my chest, lances in my arms and shoulders, arrows in both of my legs. I could hardly even tell what hurt anymore. There was unpleasant sound in the tower, almost like heavy rain. It was almost the sound of my blood spilling onto the stone. Red. It was red, just like anyone else's blood. It didn't flow into unnatural patterns. It didn't turn into black, demonic shadows. It didn't cause anyone who touched it harm. It was just ordinary, red blood. Regardless, this body was probably still cursed. It had to be. I couldn't hear Giselle's voice anymore. I hoped she was safe and alive. I prayed that at least she would be protected. That the witch would keep her promise. It was getting dark. Light was quickly departing from my world. Darkness everlasting dragged me down into its pits. I believed in you. Michael? Michael, hey, say something, talk to me. What's going on? What's going on here? No, this can't be happening. An impossibly heavy thud came from beyond the door, and with it, Michael fell silent. Then, intermittent, squelching sound as something slid down the door. No, this can't be. Why? Why? I pounded on the door with all my strength, but it refused to give. The skin on my hands eventually going raw and beginning to see blood. Why? Why should Michael have to be killed? Tell me why. Take me with you. Please don't leave me behind. That man isn't a witch. He isn't cursed. I'm cursed, not him. So don't hang him. Don't humiliate him like that. Kill me instead, please. Again and again I pounded on the door, but the self-described knights on the other side seemed to not even be aware of my presence. They seemed unable to hear my cries. Their armor clanking with each step, they began to descend their staircase, and with it, I could hear the sound of something being dragged slowly across the floor. No, don't take him away. Stop, don't take Michael away from me. I'm begging you. But my pleas were in vain. My hope was for naught. The knights took him away, took him somewhere out of my reach, for all eternity. Don't take him away from me. God, why? Why must it always be pain? Michael. After much too long, the door swung open all on its own. It happened so unceremoniously, it was hard to believe I had actually been trapped inside. I had no idea how much time had passed, but the chill in the air suggested it was deep into the night, and with the biting cold, there was the stench of blood. Ah, why? Why? Michael, I never wanted this. Ah, you didn't understand at all, Michael. You didn't know the depth of my feelings for you. You didn't know how intensely I wanted you, how fervently I loved you. I was never going to be able to find someone else and live happily with them. It had to be you. The thought of anyone else touching me terrified me. You just didn't understand. I don't want. I don't want to live in this stupid world. The time I spent with you truly was the happiest time of my life. I remember. I remember everything now. You died on that day. You were killed. You disappeared from this world and left me behind. That's right. I remember. I remember the pain, the agony of death and the fear. I did indeed die that day. You refused to listen to me. Do you have any idea how it felt to feel you dying from the other side of that door? Giselle, I want to take you, I want you to take me with you. Is this what you wanted to see? My memories, the traces of my life on this earth, ended there. In order to find your truth, we need more of the story. Very well then. If you want more story, I will tell you more. What comes next is both the continuation and the brand new tale. The Maid's Tale. When you've heard it all, I expect you to commend me for not forgetting how to smile. We haven't completely cut through the darkness yet. An arctic wind blows past me. At the same time, I'm gripping with the overwhelming urge to break down into tears. Perhaps this is the solitude she felt for so long. I have to face this. I have a responsibility to her to do so. And I have to atone for being such a misguided fool all those many years ago, convinced that I was doing what was best. Oh wow, so there's literally another door. We got the achievement. The sixth door. Surely this will be the final one. Okay. So it lasts until an unknown near. Interesting. This is my tale, and the maid's tale. A tale of a foolish, naive girl. Looking back on it now, I'm ashamed of everything, but I will tell you my story in its entirety, without embellishments. I ask that you please not let go of my hand. Alright, so we continue straight from here. The only thing the knights left behind were a garment and a large pool of your blood. Blood had seeped into the fabric, and it was beginning to dry. When I clenched it in my hand, it made a soft crackling sound. The oppressive stench of death lingered in the tower. Michael, there's no point to a life without you. You know that, right? Have a wonderful family? You know I can't do that. Hey, Michael, answer me. Come back to me. I don't care if it's as a ghost. I just need you to be here with me. Come back to me. Talk to me about nothing and about everything. Be irritated with me when I do something stupid. Scoff at me whenever I tell a bad joke. Trounce me at chess again. Put your arms around me one more time. Come on. I'm begging you. If you won't come back to me, then I'll go to you. I don't care if that's not what you wanted from me. This world without you is meaningless. Dying won't guarantee you get to see him again. Whoa. He spends all the time refusing to talk to me, and when he finally does, he begs me to save his love? Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Rather disappointing, to be honest. Who? Who are you? Where are you? Ah, hey, quite daft, aren't we? Within these walls, I am everywhere, and you've heard of me before. What? I have no... Heavens, you are slow. Is that pretty head of yours only for decorations? What? But no, there's no one else. You might be thicker than these walls, my dear. Although, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You never did believe anything Michael said about me. You thought he was going mad. Ah, this is brilliant. No, there's no way. It can't be. The cursed witch, Morgana? Oh, you even know my name, do you? It would appear my legend has survived longer than I expected. I suppose I should thank you, all the humans who have passed it down for me. You actually exist? I most certainly do, my dear. As I recall, you don't believe in supernatural, do you? But it's hard to deny when that very witch is talking to you right this moment. Michael was not even slightly mad, my dear. I told him he was better off without his sanity, but he refused to listen. He wasn't deranged, his surroundings were. His environment, the people around him, his whole world. Can you imagine how dreadful that must have been? To be the only sane resident in a world gone utterly mad. It's a miracle he managed to keep his head. Remember what you said just before he died, my dear. You said it was all in his head. You said he couldn't tell the difference between illusion and reality. You said that he had long since gone insane. Shouted it at the top of your lungs. No, that's not what I meant. Ah, poor Michael. If only you had believed him about the witch. I feel bad for you too, though. You have my pity. What did you ever do to deserve this? Oh, and just to be perfectly clear, I played no part in either your or Michael's misfortune. The only force to blame for that is fate. You were a good, honest, joyful, lovable woman. And look how the world had treated you. May I ask you something? Was it you who sealed me in the tower? Yes, it was. That was what was Michael wanted. Once, I told him I would grant his wish. So I did as he asked. Though it looks like that ended up causing you even more pain. How tragic. So, you're planning to die? Are you hoping to reunite with him in heaven? That plan destined to fail from the outset, my dear. God teaches that suicide is a sin, and you'll go to hell for that. Then, I will not kill you. Why not? Because I swore to Michael that I would save your life. Poor Giselle. If you have any other wish, I'll be happy to grant it. I cannot bear to see you so miserable. A wish. You have but a single desire right now, to see him once more. Isn't that right, Giselle? Are you saying you can make that happen? You'll bring him back to life for me? The forces of life and death are outside of my realm. That is God territory, or the angels. However, I can guarantee you this. His reconstruction? His reconstruction? Yes. You can meet him again, not in this life, but in some future life. Just imagine it. Finding your beloved again after overcoming so much tragedy. 10, 20, maybe 100 long years from now, you're finally reunited. Doesn't that sound marvelous? True, unparalleled love in its purest form. What do you think? Just because you can bring his soul back, doesn't make it Michael. I want to be with him that proves impenetrable, slightly immature, but gentle as a butterfly man, the man who sincerely, deeply loved me. If it's the same soul in a different body, can you still call him my Michael? My apologies. You beat me to the punchline, and you did it with such order. You threw me off balance. You're exactly right. The idea that if your love is strong enough, you can be both reborn and have exactly the same relationship is utterly fairy tale nonsense. You must be the same people to have the same love, which is why I'm not promising his rebirth or reincarnation, but his reconstruction. Your wish can become reality, Giselle. As long as you wish for it with all of your heart, it can come true. I'll wish for his reconstruction as well. You have a witch asking to make this happen, my dear, so you can be confident that it will bear fruit. And you wish for him to remain as himself. If he truly loves you, and he too wishes to reunite with you, your wish shall be granted. Will you really wish with me? I most certainly will, my poor, pitiful, dear Giselle. I shall offer up my most heartfelt prayers for you. I'll wish for it. Until the moment of my death, I'll keep wishing for us to be reunited as the same people. I can't guarantee your reconstruction, though. What? I only said I guaranteed his. Michael is the only reconstruction I will wish for. I will not ask for yours. Why not? You're not looking at a benevolent, wish-granting goddess or angel with magic bow and arrow. You're looking at a cursed witch. Then how am I to be with him again? I can offer you but one option that will allow you to reunite with your reconstructed Michael. Tell me, what do I have to do? You must live here with me. Live with you? What do you mean? It was Michael who resurrected me. But he could not serve as my guide. I have work to do, but I cannot do it alone. I need a guide to assist me, because as you can see, I have no body. If this house did not exist in this world, then perhaps I might be able to give myself form, my soul's form. I don't understand anything you're saying. You don't need to understand. All I need from you is for you to show your utmost hospitality to the people I'm expecting to show up at this mansion someday. Entertain your guests. That's right, my dear. Michael isn't the only one whose reconstruction I'm wishing for. There are others, several heinous sinners. So I want you to serve as the maid and watch over them when they arrive. Oh my god. Massive. What a lore drop. So that's why she became the maid, to watch all of these. So all of these stories happened. The white-haired girl is real. And she just served as the maid because she herself got herself trapped. That is crazy. And until then, keep the house in good condition. What are you scheming? Is that something you truly need to know, my dear? All you need to do is wish. Pray for the day your beloved appears before you again. For the day he wraps his arms around you once more. One word, Giselle. That is all I require. Do you want to see him again? Do you want to hear his voice again? I can promise you you'll have your happiness back. What reason is there to hesitate? There isn't one. Or are you simply going to give up? I wonder what would happen if you said no. If you disappear from this world, how will Michael react when he comes back? Will he be sad, angry, or will he forget about you and fall into the arms of another woman? No, he can't. Then make up your mind. Will you come with me, or will you throw it all away? If I had given a little thought, I would have realized she was manipulating me, and that she was just telling me what I wanted to hear. But I believed her. I accepted her proposition. As unbelievable as it sounded, my desire for it to be real overpowered everything. It was impossible not to grasp at the straws she was dangling in front of me. That was all I could do at the time. The witch's voice also had inexplicable power to it. It made me believe, as outrageous as it was, that she really could bring you back, reconstruct you. Maybe because I had seen her turn a door into an immovable wall, or maybe because I had heard her disembodied voice. But I don't think those are enough to explain it. My guess is, she had me under a spell. That was the moment I became the maid. But I assure you, I was, at that point, still the same Giselle you knew and loved. The sound of rain never seems to stop. Am I hallucinating it, maybe? From the moment I lent my ear to the witch's sweet temptation, the mansion underwent an unimaginable transformation. No light shone through the windows, despite them still being unobstructed. Not morning, day, or evening. In fact, the concept of morning, day, and evening did not seem to exist. The darkness resembled that of when the windows had all been sealed off, but there was something more fundamentally unreal about it, like it was hovering over a vast, all consuming abyss within a constant haze of malice. I felt like I had been cast into some unknown realm, and that was why there was nothing beyond the windows. And the house was not only the thing that underwent changes, I too was no exception. In the blink of an eye, all my basic human urges vanished. I stopped feeling hungry, and I no longer needed sleep. Naturally, I was bewildered by what was happening to me, what I was turning into. I think I'll take a look around. Maybe there have been other changes. Oh wow. So yeah, now she's become the maid, and she see everything through all those time periods because she literally cannot die. So I meandered through the mansion halls. My original intent was to explore the entire house, but I found myself drawn towards one room in particular. That's right, your bedchamber. There was no light, not a trace of color remaining in your chambers, but the bed was the same shape, the walls were the same texture, the curtains the same design as when you had been alive. Michael, I'm praying, I'm always praying, that someday we'll meet again. Oh, there's something hidden under the bed. What could it be? It's that painting of a white-haired girl. I never did get to ask why we got so angry about me seeing this. I'm sure it's something he didn't want to be reminded of. Perhaps having to do with his family. I was right not pressing him about it. Oh, she's smiling? What? Oh my god, that's creepy. I assume that might be the witch. What the? Did the painting just smirk at me? Oh god. Oh jeez, Giselle. What are you doing tripping over yourself? It was that accursed witch messing with your head. No need to get spooked over a tasteless prank. When I stumbled, I guess I knocked a drawer open. There's something inside. Letters, it looked like? I shouldn't touch these. They're not mine. But I want something of Michael to have. Something to remember him by. His letter would be in his handwriting. They would contain his words. Please forgive me, Michael. I don't mean any ill will, but I'm going to take these. I must say, there are an impressive number of... What on earth? It's like someone dumped an inkwell on every page. But why? Was this the witch's doing too? Yeah, it has to be. It must have been her. It definitely wasn't you, Michael, was it? Wow. So I wonder what happens next. Is she just going to see everything? All the stories we went through? The front door. I wonder what it's like outside. I can't get it open. What's going on? The bar isn't set, but it won't budge an inch. It's just like up in the tower. I know, the windows. They should open, then I can... What's going on here? What the heck is going on here? It's like there's an invisible wand in front of the window. My hand won't go any further. This is rich. What else can I do but laugh? What in the world? This is madness. Hurry up, Michael. Return to me. And get me out of here. Please get me out of here. I had no idea how to explain anything that had happened to the mansion, but it was clear enough that I was imprisoned within its walls. I was all alone in a nebulous sphere of bleak darkness, and beyond its wall lay void. The layout of the house remained unchanged, but I felt as though I had wandered into a twisted labyrinth. I could cry, but there was no one there to soothe me. All it did was provoke her disembodied cackling, which she followed with, "You chose this, my dear, so you need to hold yourself together and keep wishing." My only real pastime was cleaning. I dusted the same corners again and again, swept the same floor, polished the same dishes. One day, I decided I would read books left in the library. Despite there being more than 100 volumes, I finished every one of them in what felt like no time at all. My life was a never-ending cycle. Day in and day out, day in and day out. The house had no visitors. No one, rather nothing at all, set foot upon the property. There were no signs of other life whatsoever there. No birds singing in the morning, no cats sunbathing in the garden, no mice scurrying about the kitchen, no creepy crawly insects. There was nothing. Nothing at all. The only thing that broke the long stench of silence was her voice. Tell me, was she kind to you? Was she friendly and courteous? Because she was quite harsh when she spoke to me. These were the kind of things she was always saying to me. "He didn't show up today, did he, my dear? Are you still praying, my dear? Do you think he'll actually come, my dear? I'm still wishing. Well, just like I promised, my dear. You know why he hasn't come for you, my dear. Because perhaps he doesn't actually love you as much as you thought. My dear, my dear, my dear. Have you lost your mind yet? Shut up, I had enough, I'm done with you." Enough, please, enough already. Oh, what's got you so worked up? You love to talk, don't you? So why not have a little nice chat with me? This is not a chat. Maybe not in your mind, my dear. You seem to think chatting only constitutes conversations you enjoy. But I don't think the word usage need to be so restricted personally. You're just getting off on watching me scrum. Oh, not at all. You will have all my best wishes if he ever does show up for you. Oh, so scary. If you're making that face when he shows up, he might not even recognize you. What? You haven't looked in the mirror recently, have you? Go on then, my dear. See just how frightful you become. No, the witch was right. I looked nightmarish. My face was pale and lifeless, my eyes hollow, my cheeks sunken, heavy bags beneath my eyes. My hair had lost its sheen, and it grew wildly. I was quickly losing everything that made me recognizable as me, and the thought sent shivers down my spine. No, this isn't me. This is some sort of kind of trick. You're trying to deceive me. Baseless accusation. You really must stop blaming people every time something doesn't turn out the way you want, my dear. But, my face was more what? More expressive? More cheerful? Brighter? Rosier? You're right. You were never this gloomy, were you? Right. I wasn't. I was always more cheerful than this. Naive girl. Could you be any more narcissistic? What you're looking at is undeniably exactly what you look like now. Time did not do that to you, nor did I. The negative energy oozing from within you is what causing you to take on this form. Did you think you didn't have any dark, ugly emotion inside you? Did you believe that you would always be able to smile no matter what? Did you assume you were pure and beautiful? No one like that exists, my dear. What you see in the mirror is the true you, your hideous, twisted heart. If you weren't always being so nasty, this would have never happened. Anyone's heart would be twisted, listening to you long enough. So you're saying Michael's heart was twisted too? I spoke to him for years. No, I'm just teasing. I suppose I might have crossed the line here. I mean you no ill will, Giselle. Honest. Allow me to give you one word of advice, though. Look at yourself in a mirror often. If you continue deteriorating at this rate and end up looking like a corpse, when Michael comes and sees you, he won't jump for joy, but run away, screaming in terror. Stop talking. Please, just stop. You know, Giselle, this is only the very beginning. He might not show up for hundreds of years. I can't live that long. Absolutely brilliant. You still think you're alive? What? The moment you agree to come with me, you cease to be of this world. So don't worry about time, my dear. You can wait as long as it takes. As long as it takes for him to arrive. As the witch had suggested, I started checking my appearance in the mirror every day. I wanted to ensure I didn't turn into some horrifying creature. My hair grew, so time seemed to be passing, but I didn't appear to age at all. The flow of time had become perplexingly vague and uncertain. Was it stopped, or was it moving? I couldn't tell. On occasion, I would practice smiling in front of the mirror. My smile was, after all, my one really distinctive feature, and I was certain you had to see me smiling more than anything. You had it. Even if my appearance had changed drastically, I thought, you would still be able to recognize me by my smile. A woman standing alone in front of a mirror, practicing how to smile. I'm sure that was quite a comical sight. And that was about how my days went for an incomprehensibly long time. So now we'll go through all the doors, probably, right? Yep. Oh, wait. No, we haven't been to this year before. For the first 100 years, I kept track of how much time has passed. An hour, a day, a month, a year, 10 years, 50. But once it had surpassed the person's average lifespan, the counting started driving me mad, and so I stopped. My sense of time began to numb. In place of sleep, I spent my days in a trance-like state. Doing so, I was less aware of the passage of time, which made it a little easier to bear. Suspended in this bubble of time, my mind went out to you. Oh, so now wow, 100 years. The next thing I lost was a sense of myself. I lived as a human for 21 years. After spending nearly 10 times that trapped in the mansion, I began to feel like that's all I ever been. That maybe my past was all a construction of my imagination. That as otherworldly being, I merely fantasized about being human. Had I actually had a family? Had there actually been other people in the world? Did cities and villages really exist? Was there ever really a time when light shone through the windows when we were happy? But I knew if I started doubting everything, I wouldn't be able to maintain myself. So I settled on believing one thing, that you, Michael, were real. That you had been with me. That I had loved you. And that it was you I was waiting for. I tried to always remember that one fact. Wow. We're getting closer to the flex and hair family time. My characteristic energy and cheer were disappearing. By then, I hardly ever raised my voice anymore, and in response to that change, the witch seemed to treat me a little nicer. On occasion, I thought I could sense her presence nearby, like she might reveal a form to me from beyond the darkness instead of only speaking to me. I could feel her sitting beside me. Giselle, do you think you're still Giselle, even now? I suppose it doesn't matter either way. Sometimes I think love and fantasism are two sides of the same coin. What are you implying? Oh, nothing. I have an idea though. Why don't we make you some new clothes, my dear? The loom should still work, thanks to your keeping everything in order. That outfit and artifacts of age long past by now. You know how long it's been? Vaguely, but yes. As we speak, time still marches onward. Not too quickly and not too slowly, but at the same pace as you're breathing. Now, on your feet, Giselle. We have plenty of time, so let's make you the perfect made outfit. And if we don't have enough material, we can make more threads from the sheet or curtains. How exciting. Following her instructions, I wore garments in a style that did not exist in my era. They were quite strange to behold. The old me might have been stricken with fascination by them, but at that point, I wasn't even sure how to rejoice, how to be impressed, or how to be moved anymore. Oh god. 400 years have passed. It sounds like rain again. What year is it? The meme. Oh, it doesn't matter what year is it. It is. It doesn't matter where it is. As long as you're here, there. It can be anytime, anywhere. Where are you, Michael? What are you doing? I'm still praying. I'm still wishing for you to appear before me. Forever and ever and ever. And ever and ever and ever. I've been praying for so long, I don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said you were going to pray too. You said you hoped we could meet again in another life. I'm not misremembering, am I? Michael, come back to me soon. I love you so, so very much, but my memories of you are starting to fade. What did your voice sound like? What kind of faces did you make? Where did you like to put your hands on me? I don't want to forget. I want to always remember. My memories of you are the only thing holding me together, but are slipping away from me. How did you speak? What kind of things did you talk about? I'm losing all these memories. Please, Michael, come back to me before I forget everything. My beloved master. The thought crossed my mind that maybe Morgana guaranteed that you would be reconstructed was just a lie to trick me into staying here. But I quickly discarded it, because if she had been lying, it would strip all meaning from my very existence. It would take from me my purpose for being here. So I didn't want to accept that possibility. I had no choice but to persevere in my belief that you will return. I had always thought I would be alright, that my faith would never waver. I still believed in myself. But you can be the happiest, most optimistic, resolute person in the world, and you will still break eventually. And I was at a point where even the slightest tap would shatter me into fragments. Right? Ooh. Was this? Several hundred years later, I was enslaved within the mansion. Something changed for the very first time. Sunlight, which I had not seen in all that time, shone in from the outside. At first, I did not believe it was real. I thought it was a hallucination born of my inner desires, and I thought I must have completely lost it for my fantasies to have escaped my mind. But it didn't matter if it was all an illusion. The gentle breeze blowing in through the window felt wonderful. The smell of grass, the chirping of birds, the glistening blue sky, it was like 1,000 memories rushing back all at once, and it brought tears to my eyes. The time has come, Giselle. It's time for you to get to work. And as she always did, the witch's voice crushed my elation, dragging me back to reality. Revealing inside of the outside was the last thing I should have been doing. Reveling, for it was the moment that began my true decline. Work? What kind of work? Have you already forgotten? Oh, good heavens, do you have your head on straight, my dear? As I said, I need you to watch over the house and show your utmost hospitality to those who show up. It is merely an appetizer. It looked like someone here. Hold on, I have no idea what am I supposed to do. Do the same thing you always be doing. Be a maid. Convince the house guests that this is a wonderful place. Make them enjoy their stay. Now go on. I'm quite looking forward to this. The bar has been removed. But will the door open? For so long, the door had refused to budge. For so long, light had forsaken these halls. For so long, there had been no trace of life. And now, all of that had been turned on its head. I felt like I had stepped into heaven on earth. I know it sounds melodramatic, so please don't laugh. It was almost certainly a perfectly ordinary slice of nature. Leaves and grass rustled in the wind, flowers specked the earth, and in the distance was a city I didn't recognize. I wondered where I was, of course, but I neither shouted nor jumped in surprise. Instead, I found myself accepting of my circumstances, as unnatural as they might have been. As I was standing there idly before the entrance, a carriage rolled up. Could this road be any bloody worse? It's in dire need of paving on top of everything else. And who might you be, young lady? That outfit. He's speaking a different language. The middle-aged man approached me. From his attire and the way he held himself, he appeared to be upper class. However, the words coming out of his mouth were not in the language I had grown up speaking. Could the mansion have moved somewhere far, far away? Naturally, I had no idea how such thing was possible. And the longer I stood there, staring at him absent-mindedly, the more incredulous he became. My immediate mission was to overcome the language barrier. Fortunately, I suppose I was able to understand the bits of specs of what he had said. As a merchant in the capital, my family did business with people from other countries, and as a result, I had learned a handful of words. The problem was, it had been so long ago, I had no confidence whatsoever in my ability to hold a conversation. I'm a servant. Servant? Can't say I remember asking a lady servant, but I suppose these things do happen. Doesn't much matter who they send. Who are you? You weren't informed? Bloody hell, off to a great start, I see. Well, what can you do, I guess? Name's Hayden Rhodes. That's his grandfather that built the mansion, just a retired old man. The Rhodes family. As I'm sure you've already guessed, this man was the Rhodes sibling grandfather. Yeah, I remembered. He was also the first person I served under as the maid. So he rebuilt the entire mansion and brought misfortune upon his family. For a member of an esteemed noble family, Hayden was a bit on the eccentric side. He only hired a handful of servants, claiming he was not fond of clamor. There was a single chef, a physician, a servant to take care of all the cleaning, and then me, who served as his personal assistant. Whenever he got the chance, Hayden would chase me down and make me practice proper etiquette. According to him, I had much to learn. You are, at least technically, a servant of the Rhodes family. Young lady, so I can't have you going around playing country bumpkin act. Yes, sir. And we'll have to do something about the accent too while we're at it. I have an accent? Thicker than a bloody molasses. Now, I have no interest in sticking my nose into your business asking where you hail from. But while you're here, you must act the part, young lady. Lucky for you, I'm retired and have all the time in the world. I'll teach you everything you need to know about proper etiquette. Alright. Speak up, will you? Yes, sir. Their grandfather was something different. Hayden did not go easy on me either. In addition to my day-to-day duties, I studied etiquette, the language, proper pronunciation, and formal dictation. Anytime I made the slightest mistake, he would shut his disification. Besides, listen carefully. A servant is the face of the house. A servant's Jaffe is her master Jaffe. Always keep this in mind. You're not just a maid. You must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure, even if the house is falling down around you. Whatever happens, you deal with it quickly and quietly. Your language must be immaculate. No or pauses for any reason. Yes, sir. No stammering either. Sorry. Oh, wow. Bloody hell. You're not going to make this easy, are you? Whose idea was it the country bumpkin would make a good servant? I'd like to give him a piece of my mind. I'm not from the country. Not even slightly. I was raised in the capital. Is that so, huh? A prim and proper city girl, are you? In that case, you should be a quick study. Absolutely. I can learn anything in a week, tops. Piece of cake. Is that so? Alright then. Starting tomorrow, I'm tripling your lessons. I didn't think this through. In addition to being my master, Hayden was my teacher. When he yelled, he grew twice his size and I shrunk to half mine. But it wasn't an all unpleasant experience, because I knew he wasn't raising his voice to belittle me. His instruction may have been harsh, but it was a human interaction. There were people around that I could talk to, and that was wonderful. I was starting to regain some of my humanity. Unlike me, you still got a long life ahead of you, young lady. I don't know what kind of life you lived, but I can't imagine it's all been that easy. Not many servants girl your age without a home to go back to. Which is why I need to learn this. Once you've got all the rules and customs down, you'll be able to hold your own in any noble's estate. You shouldn't have any trouble keeping yourself employed. I'm sure you think I'm just a loud, obnoxious old man, but I believe we met for a reason, so I'll help you stick with me. I don't think about you like that at all, master. You're a remarkable man. One more time. I deeply appreciate your generous consideration, master, from the bottom of my heart. I didn't know much about Hayden's situation. Why he'd been retired to this mansion all alone, away from the rest of his family. But anytime I asked about them, he would say, "It happens sometimes," with a melancholic frown. Before long, 2 years had passed. By that point, my etiquette had improved enough to satisfy his high standards. In that time, the mansion underwent a number of decor changes, as Hayden brought in sculptors to work on different areas of the house. He also sealed off rooms that were not in use, such as the observation tower and the chapel. It was a sad thing, seeing areas with so many memories for me falling into disuse. But as a mere servant, I had no say in the matter. In addition, Hayden seemed to greatly enjoy renovating the house, so I watched him warmly. The, the furniture was all gradually replaced. Gorgeous painting hung over the walls, colorful patterned curtains installed. Hey, the rose garden! And a brilliant rose garden planted. These roses came from all across the world. Nowhere else can you see so many different varieties in one place. It's beautiful. Did you know that in the city, people are starting to call the mansion Rose Manor? Rose Manor? And to think there used to be nothing but weeds here. Amazing how much it has changed. I never thought I would see the garden turn into something so beautiful. Are you fond of roses, young lady? Yes, red ones especially. Red roses mean a great deal to me. They remind me of a time long past. Given one as a gift, were you? No, I believe I was the one who gave the rose. So red roses are a symbol of my feelings. They're very precious to me. I gave you a rose as a gift. You plucked it from its stem and placed it in my hair. Am I remembering correctly? My memories are so vague now. I can't even remember the look on your face that day. There are some kids I'd like to give roses to myself. Who? My grandchildren. Oh my, you have grandchildren? Aye, though we haven't been in touch for some time. Last I saw them was 4 years ago, when my second grandchild was born. The sweetest girl in the world, with a lovely flaxen hair. She's going to be a real beauty when she grows up. Anyway, they're wonderful kids, and one day, I want to hand this garden over to them. Each and every rose containing my hope that they'll lead comfortable, healthy lives free of strife. I'm sure your wish will come to pass. Your grandchildren will have a wonderful lives. Aye. The grief of not having you around still weighed heavily on my mind. But I was slowly approaching contentance. Life with Hayden was slow and uneventful, peaceful and relaxing. I imagined my heart was seeking anything to alleviate its pain. I found that in the beautifully remodeled mansion, the garden blooming wildly with roses, and my time with Hayden, I was even beginning to think this life was enough for me. That I would be okay with this being the end if it meant more of the tranquility I felt. I was, like a coward, considering giving up on the fight. Please do forgive me for ever considering such a thing. Hayden actually seemed like a wonderful man. He rebuilt this entire mansion, built an entire rose garden for his grandchildren. Hayden seemed to be high spirits that day. A gift had apparently arrived from his son, who lived far away. In it was a tea set, some leaves, and a small jar of sugar. Miss! How can I be of service, master? Brew me a pot of this, would you? Be careful not to steep it for too long. You want to get it just right for the best flavor. As you wish, master. You seem quite pleased. Why would I be? A boy who shunned his old man for years sends me a paltry gift on a whim. I'm just entertaining his fancy. Your tea is ready, master. Ah, what a wonderful smell. Tea and roses are life's best damned spices. Now, let's see what that boy chose for me. If it's no good, I'll be sure to write him an angry letter. He looks so happy. He must really love his family. It's a little bitter. Shall I brew another pot? No, it's not your fault. Must be something in the leaves. Would you like to add some sugar then? There was a small jar of it with this tea set. Now that's some bloody fine sugar he procured. White as snow and sparkles in the light. He chose it just for you, master. Bloody hell, what demon possessed him? Alright, give me 2 spoons then. Yes, master. Here you are. Huh. Splendid. This is some exquisite tea. The sugar balanced the bitterness of the leaves perfectly. I guess that boy does of, some... Master? Master. Oh my god, it's poisoned? The doctor. I need to find a doctor. No, dude, no way. Water. I guess I'm water right away. So please hang in there. Bruh, if he's been poisoned, that is wild. Thanks to the quick treatment provided by his personal physician, Hayden survived, but he didn't make it out with much more than his life. He was permanently bedridden by the affair. Evidently, the sugar I put in the tea had contained poison, which had done irreplaceable damage to his nerves and muscle. Most of his body was completely immobile, except for his left arm. Whoa, that is crazy. Can I bring you something? Some water? I've had more than my fill of water. You don't need to wait on me and hand and foot. Ha, the face is all you need to distract yourself by working. Remember what I told you? A noble family servant might always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure. But how can you expect me to remain composed? If I'd only examined the sugar more thoroughly, you never would have noticed, young lady. I examined the sugar and didn't see a bloody thing wrong with it. He was damn crafty, that's for sure. Why would he do this? His inheritance, I presume? Sometimes something must have come up and he needed money quickly. That's no reason to poison your own father. Blood is nothing but an obstacle to ambition. Or maybe he just hated me. How could anyone possibly hate you? Perhaps that could be said of me, you know. But when you live as long as I have, you're bound to make an enemy or two. Mine just happened to be my son. I was planning to give him everything anyway. He didn't have to do this. It all would have been his. Master, killing me doesn't accomplish anything. But I guess it doesn't much matter. Say, could I ask you something, young lady? What can I do for you? I don't want to get out that Hayden Rhodes was poisoned, so could you tell people that I passed away peacefully with a beautiful nurse tending to my every need? You're not dead yet. Please don't talk like that. You're scaring me. No stammering. But I'm not saying it'll happen immediately. But I am an old man, and one day I'll wake up and I'll be gone. This is about my own pride, not my son. The last thing I want is to go out with a black spot on my name. Tell me you'll do this, Giselle. He's never said my name before. As you wish. Thank you. You're a peculiar girl, you know. Sometimes you seem greener than the leaves in the summer, and sometimes you seem like you seem 12 kinds of hell. And every so often, you seem not of this world. Your skin is pale, your hands are cold as ice. At one point, I thought you might be death himself. But I was wrong about that. You have too big of a heart to be deaf. You care too much. You must be carrying a very heavy cross on your back. What am I supposed to do? I don't want to lose you, Lord Hayden. I don't want to lose this life. You have someone, don't you, young lady? Someone you're dying to meet again. Yes, but I don't know anymore. I don't know how long I'm supposed to keep waiting. If something doesn't happen soon, I don't think I can hold myself together much longer. I was so close to breaking down, and it was you who kept me on my feet. I'm sure you've tried to remain strong plenty of times, so I'll give you some different advice. A trick from when you think you're losing hold of yourself. Build a cocoon. A cocoon? A sturdy shell to keep your weak inner self safe. This world has no interest in protecting you, only swallowing you whole. So you mustn't readily expose your true self. You build a cocoon and you play the role you need to play. That way, the real you will remain unharmed. It's not pleasant to hide yourself like that, but it's better than letting the world crush you. But a word of warning: if you spend too long in the cocoon, the real you is liable to disappearing forever. You'll be swallowed up by your own protective shell. I hope you find whoever it is before it's too late. Now, I think I'll get some sleep. All this talking wore me out. As you wish. Good night, master. See you in the morning. See you in the morning, young lady. And I guess he'll pass away now. The next day, Hayden was dead, yes? He had strangled himself with his left hand? Whoa. I should have been more attentive. I should have recognized how much pain he was in. How much it crushed him to have been betrayed by his own family. I should have realized how he truly felt. How fragile he really was. I fell into a hopeless gloom. I could hardly believe that the quiet life I had finally attained had been shattered in the blink of an eye. Hayden's other servants quickly went their own ways, and I vividly remember the dirty looks they all gave me. Everyone who knew how he died assumed I had done it. I had no reason to kill him, though, but I had more than enough to believe so, for I had indeed been the last person to see him alive, and I held firmly to the story he has been asked me to tell. While I was unable to convince the other servants, his family was far more accepting of the story that he had departed for the next world happily. Though that did not make the truth any less heartbreaking, especially since I was the only one who knew it. Why did this always have to happen? I was happy, but I can never seem to keep hold of it any more than a flash. Despair always comes marching to rip it away. What am I doing here? What kind of person were you, Michael? What kind of person was I? Oh, my dear, you look positively miserable. Why should you despair at the death of some strange old geezer? Morgana. Was Hayden one of those whom you wish to be reconstructed? Ha! I have no interest in that wrinkled bag of bones. And if he was one of them, do you really think I would have let him go so peacefully? Peaceful? You call that peaceful? You call his misery peaceful? I most certainly do. And since you do not seem to understand this, the pain of death lasts but an instant. The worst torture can only be inflicted upon the living. Setting two loved ones against one another, manipulating one to taking the other's life, and then forcing him to live with that. The stage hasn't been even set yet, my dear. and you would have me play a part in that. Indeed, you agreed to accompany me. You're here to be my guide, and you're doing a wonderful job of it so far. I haven't done anything. Oh, but you killed that old man, did you not? Thanks to you, my wish is one step closer to fruition. What? What do you mean I killed Hayden? You mean you to claim you didn't? Tell me, who was it that put the poisoned sugar in his tea? No, I didn't mean to. Your intentions are irrelevant. Everything moves along the path forged by my wish, and you shall continue to follow its will. You know what? I'm done feeling like this. I don't want anyone else to go through what Hayden did. And what are you going to do about it? I'm done listening to you. Without me, you have no influence over this world. Oh, so I'll die. I'll take my own life right here and now. I grabbed a nearby knife and held it against my breast. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding, my whole body was wrecked with terror, but I could have sworn I heard Morgana gasp. This was her one weakness, I thought. What are you thinking? Do not do this, Giselle. Don't be foolish. Put the knife down right now. I'm done trusting anything you say. Giselle, put the knife down. Whoa, so she actually managed to get Morgana worked up. I've missed you so very much, Michael. I wanted nothing more than to see you again, but if my being Morgana guide is going to cause other people suffering, then I can't. It's all over, Morgana. There's no blood? Not even pain. Why? Huh. Absolutely brilliant. I told you not to be foolish, but you just wouldn't listen to me. Such a silly girl. Huh. I really am. So she's a ghost. I couldn't even die if I wanted to. Learning that absolutely crushed me. My backup plan, the one escape route I had available to me, had been ripped away. My spirit crumbled, and I felt myself sinking into vast darkness. I began losing my grip on myself, which is when I recalled Hayden's advice. Build a cocoon. It was the only option I had left, my final chance at protecting myself. Although, ultimately, I was unsuccessful in that endeavor, as you know. By that point, my mind and spirit had all been but lost, eroded away by years of solitude, the witches whispered, the brief glimmer of happiness, and the eternal boundless darkness it had left in me. It was all in that moment that all light drained from my eyes, and it was that in that moment that the maid was born. And that will be all for today's video. So yeah, we had some really expensive lore here that just dropped on us. We realized how Giselle actually became the maid. And we just started the Flex Inherit family timeline, but this time from her perspective, which is super interesting to see how we continue through all of that. And what is the white-haired girl? Because she was prevalent in all of the stories. So I guess we'll get to that. But yeah, it has been an incredible journey so far, so I can't wait to continue it. But that's all for now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.